All right, our next guest has as many rings as Tom Brady, and he managed to do it without ruining his life by force-feeding himself bone broth and avocado jello. You could see him on Spectrum Sportsnet and hear him on his podcast, The Finals Files. Please give a big shout-out to Big Shot Rob, Robert Horry. What's happening?
Man, what's happening, peoples? Man, all right, man, let me just say this. Big fan. I am honored to be on your show today.
Oh, we're honored to have you. And, I was thinking about it, and I know Dave and Martin will have thoughts on this, too. It goes Big Shot Bob, Big Shot Rob, I've heard. It may be the most underrated nickname in all of sports, Big Shot Bob, right? I mean, it's pretty perfect as far as a basketball player named Bob would go.
Yeah, it is. I had it for a while. I've had it since 94, 95. And then you get Chauncey Billups to try to change it and put Mr. on the front of his and call himself Mr. Big Shot. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Oh, no.
That's like saying calling yourself Mr. Iceman. You can't just take someone's nickname.
Wow.
So
to be fair, though, he was just trying to wash off the stink of having the first name Chauncey. You'll take any chance you can, right?
That is true. That is true. But it's always Chauncey and our friends, and I joke with him about it all the time. So everybody thinks that when I say that I'm just shooting jabs, which I am, but I only shoot jabs at people I'm friends with.
Good. We shoot it all over the place. Go ahead.
And you shot, but the thing is, though, and I'm not trying to kill Chauncey Billups or anything like that. I covered him in Detroit for a stretch. You hit way more big shots than Chauncey Billups did. Like, if we're objectively in the annals of NBA history, you've had how many game sevens? I mean, you hit a ton of big playoff shots where Chauncey Billups didn't so much. Like, how is it being known as a clutch postseason performer? Like, as a guy who continually is just going to step up in the clutch, whereas, like, what do they expect you to do for the rest of the time? I'm curious.
It's hard because you get to points in your life where people won't leave you. I remember after I left the Lakers and we were playing.
Leave me alone already.
Yeah, we playing the Lakers and Kobe goes to Karl Malone and says, "Don't leave Rob." He says, "No, you don't understand. Don't leave Rob." He said it to him like 4 times. Like, Kobe, go away, man. And the funny part is, Karl actually left me, but I missed the shot though. It kind of rattled in, and it was real because it was the exact same spot where I missed the shot that cost me $6 million.
Wait a minute. What was that on a one-on-one bet with a teammate? What was it? Had to be a bonus.
My last year as a Laker, we played in San Antonio in the finals, and we were down 1 or 2, and I missed the 3 at the end of the game. We lost that game, which was game 5 in San Antonio. We were going to lose game 6. I say that cost me $6 million because I had an option that year and the Lakers didn't pick up that option.
I see.
So I had to, play for $5 million next year instead of 6.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. I was trying to go through it. Big Shot Bob is just so perfect. I was even trying to 2022 it up. I don't know if it would be half court Horry or TikTok Rocket or the creep from way deep or maybe OMG B.O.B. I think Big Shot Bob is still number one. I don't think we can get it better.
I think it is because, only Steph can hit half-court shots with consistency. I'm up on the line making sure I knock it down. I think that was the key to a lot of my shots is you look at a lot of these guys who make shots, they're like 6 feet behind the three-point line. I'm trying to make the shot as easy as possible. I'm being up on the line. You might have to look down and see if my toe is down the line, but I played it close to the line, so to say.
They would review it every single time. Yeah, right.
Sal and I we were together when we watched one of Big Shot Rob's bucket beater. That was against the Kings when he that bouncing one under the rim got knocked out there and you hit it there. But you touch on something that is fascinating to me. It feels to me like Steph Curry. We've kind of glossed over the fact that he ain't making 24-footers. These are 28 and 30-footers. How much does that ultimately impact Andrew Wiggins' ability to get to the rim, create space, and otherwise? Is that as big a factor as it seems to me watching it on TV?
It's a huge factor. I played with guys like that all my life, Dream, Shaq, Tim, where they cause so much attention and it allows you to be open. And with Steph, everybody's worried about Steph. And sometimes, we worry about Clay. So that's 2 guys you have to worry about. Mm-hmm. That allows Poole, Wiggins and Draymond, all these guys to get to the basket with ease. And you think about that. This is a guy, meaning Steph, once he crosses half court, you have to pick him up. And that means you're going to have bigs that are coming bigs. They don't want to leave the paint. So now they got to come out of the paint, and it opens the court up so much. But the thing about that is, we always talk about how great Steph is, but he's ruined it for everybody.
Yes.
Because everybody thinks they can beat Steph. There's only one Steph. There's only one Kobe. There's only one MJ and Shaq. And these people who try to emulate these, and these coaches who try to emulate that, you're sick in the head. You think you can do that. These are generational players that you can't duplicate.
All right, well, hold on. I got to ask you.
Go ahead,
because we're talking about the finals. We're talking about, only one Kobe, only one Shaq. Jason Tatum has been at least doing an off the court kind of Kobe, dressing up like doing it. He's sending texts to him and all this type of stuff. But he's kind of, and Kobe had ultimately had an incredible playoff success, but especially early on in his career, kind of had a little ups and downs before he got his footing, right? Is that what we're seeing out of Jason Tatum right now? Because he's leading the team in everything, but when you watch the games, it feels like it's not enough.
Well, let's slow down when we talk about putting Tatum in that category with Kobe. He's nowhere near that.
Slow down, Martin.
He can dress like him, act like him, but the one thing about Kobe, if you really break down his game and you detail it, Tatum is doing a lot of things that he shouldn't be doing right now. He's driving and trying to get fouls, which is causing him to have more turnovers than anybody in NBA history as far as in the finals. And you can't have turnovers. That's one thing Kobe would do. Kobe's going to get a good shot. Tatum is trying to get to the hole, draw fouls. Dude, just pull up a little jumper. Learn from Kobe. Kobe stopped going in the hole unless he was dunking on you. That's why Kobe had that little 15-footer outside the paint where he went right, fadeaway jumper. Mm-hmm. Add that to your game. You got the talent, but nowadays these guys, they only do two things: shoot threes and drive to the hole.
I want to get back to that for a second because I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. It seemed more special when you would spot up for a three than it is now because so many guys are taking more threes. And it's funny, I've heard you in interviews say guys are better ball handlers now. They get to the rim easier. So why these are not you can't blame the 12-year-olds for emulating Steph Curry's game, but these are smart coaches who are just let's spot up from behind the arc. Let's get our 7-footer. That's how he'll get his rest. Horford's been good, behind the arc, but this is how these guys get their rest and they let it fly. And that's why we see 10 for 41s and almost unwatchable basketball. And a lot of these are blowouts before halftime. What is the answer here? Do they move the 3-point line back, or is this just a cyclical thing that everyone will figure out eventually?
Well, if they move the three back, it doesn't matter because they still shoot it that far behind the line. And it's so weird when you watch these guys play and you watch the generation before that, the guys were on the line, ready to catch and shoot. These guys are now 3 and 4 feet behind the line, ready to shoot because they know, okay, if I'm closer to the line, the defense is closer. So what? The defense that close to you, blow by them, get to the hole. That's going to cause a defense to clap. You can kick it out to another three, and you get to the hole for 2 points. And guys are just caught up in shooting threes. There's nothing the NBA can do. There's just going to have to be an influx of bigs to come into this league and say, yo, like Shaq, Tim type guys that are so good in the middle and refuse to shoot a three. Because, think about it. If Embiid refused to shoot a three, there's no way he wouldn't be the most dominant big man in the game right now. And then even if, let's take AD, if he can stay healthy, stop shooting threes. You had the worst 3-point shooting of your life out there. Stop doing that. Go where you dominate. And I remember so many guys in this league now. You can take Ibaka. You can take, what's the guy? Lopez. These guys was dominant in the paint. Remember them? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden they want to start shooting threes. Lopez goes from averaging 24, 25 points a game to 13, 16 points a game because he wants to shoot threes. Let me ask you this. We know 3 is more than 2, but as a player, would you rather have a 26 or 13?
Yeah, no, of
26 on the inside is 26 points. DeMar DeRozan, to me, that's why he's one of my favorite players because he'll give you 50 and won't even shoot a 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we saw a little of that from Jimmy Butler. We love Andrew Wiggins' game at this point. It kind of seems like what you were talking about earlier. And believe me, now that we go back on it, and I know you have this in your head, in today's game, it wouldn't matter if you missed 1 3. You would get that $6 million, and you might get $6 million a game in today's game, right? I can't even imagine what numbers you would put up.
Well, two guys who you got to play with, two of the all-time greats at the 5, Shaq and Hakeem. First, Hakeem. Would Hakeem adapt his game to what's going on now? Would he be a guy? He seems like he would be among the 7-footers, have the ability to learn how to make the 24-foot shot. 1, and 2, would Shaq be so dominant in the post in the way Shaq was dominant that he would offset this three-point palooza that we see everywhere? Would it just be like, go ahead and shoot your threes all day, we're just going to pound it into the low block to Shaq, and there's nothing you can do about it?
At the end of the day, it's about getting buckets, right? If you don't get buckets, you don't win. And if Shaq's on the inside shooting 60% with 2s, I'll take that any day. You can, because you're going to have off nights from shooting 3s, but are you going to have off nights dunking? I doubt that. Mm-hmm. And you look at Dream. Dream made a couple of 3s throughout the game. He could shoot 3s. He could have shot 3s, but why? He was so dominant in the paint, you couldn't stop him. So why not do what you dominate at? And I think, if Dream would have adjusted his game, but I don't think he would have had to, because Dream had to cross, so he had everything. Shaq wouldn't have had, he would just been dominant in the post because there are no bigs in his game. You got Jokic, you got Embiid, and that's it. Mm-hmm. There are no more bigs in this game because everybody's shooting 3s now. And the bigs, okay, I'm sorry about Stifle Tower. I forgot about him. But I just think there's been no way to be able to stop Dream. I mean, Shaq. If you take the guys right now that are playing, let's take who could stop Shaq on Celtics right now? Nobody. Nah. I know Horford is strong, but he ain't no Shaq. And we know Draymond. Draymond talks about he can guard anybody. You can't guard Shaq, dog. No. I've only seen one small dude that was able to guard Shaq, and that was the guy up in Detroit, Ben Wallace. And after that, nobody else could.
It's funny. He's a small dude, Ben Wallace.
I'm about to say.
Yeah. So funny.
I'd love to be small as him.
I do want to, off of Dave's stay, you were teammates with Dream, Shaq, and Tim Duncan. Start one, bench one, cut one. What are you going with?
I'm starting Dream. I'm benching Shaq. I'm cutting Tim.
You're cutting Tim. Wow.
Yeah, because, the thing about, and that's hard. You ask me tomorrow, I'm cutting Shaq. I'm never going to cut Dream. Dream is always going to be on there. He's going to be on there some way or some form. And it depends on who I am. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to get tickets, because it's all about selling those tickets. Let's be honest. Tim ain't going to sell no tickets, but you're going to win some games. But he ain't going to dunk on people like Shaq. He doesn't have the charismas of Shaq. It's certain draws that these guys have. You think about it. If they'd have had the social media back when Shaq played it, they had the day. Man, Shaq would be he'd been the first basketball billionaire outside of Michael Jordan. He'd been racking up dough because he's doing it now, and he's not even playing now.
Right? He just what he did. He bought everyone the dinner in a restaurant. He picked up everyone's tab, left the biggest tip anyone's ever seen, $25,000. Something crazy. You're right. Every single day he's in the news. Here's a funny story about Shaq. You know how you always have the Secret Santa at work and stuff, and our teams we do Secret Santa. Guys used to be begging for Shaq to pull their name. Shaq, please pull my name. Shaq can give you a car, a Rolex, a coin-out video game. He gave like a $20,000 gift. The rest of us giving like $300, $200 gifts. So everybody was hoping Shaq would pull your name. Now, some teammates were not as generous as Shaq, and we're all gambling degenerates here. And there's nothing I hate more than hearing about someone who doesn't pay their gambling debts. I know you told this story recently. Bruce Bowen, what's his problem?
Well, Bruce is just Bruce. Bruce doesn't really have any problems. He's just a big nerd. He just wants to play defense. And I get this about Bruce. Bruce is very committed to his craft. Whatever he does. I just did this NBA talk with him on Twitter, and he's a nice guy, man. There's nothing I can say about Bruce.
But what you had a bet with him, right? That he didn't pay off. Wasn't it Bruce Bowen?
Well, it was just dinner, man. It's just dinner. Bruce.
Oh, you could definitely say something about that, though. You can't welch on the bet.
But but I haven't seen Bruce in a long time.
Yeah, of course he's running from you. If it'd be the other way around.
I haven't been to San Antonio in a long time, so the people in San Antonio got a little upset at me because I said that Dream was 10 times better than Tim Duncan. So I don't think I'm allowed to go back in that town.
Oh, I see. Well,
even
maybe.
though I won them a championship in 2005, but they loved their Tim Duncan so much that I it was such blasphemy for me to say that about Tim. So I love people in San Antonio, though.
Your most blasphemous statements in certain basketball circles is the one that I agree with you about. I think the Hakeem Rockets would have beaten Michael Jordan's Bulls. And I know you agree.
Oh,
expand on why.
Because I played for, I'm about to say Pop, I played for Phil, and I know how to field coaches. And so I know when Tim was killing me in the post in San Antonio, where he averaged like 35 points, he's like, we're not double team. One man can't beat us. And Dream is the one man that could beat you. And people like talking about, Michael Jordan would have had 30. And Dream would have had 40. And it's a big difference because they had nobody that could stop Dream. We had one guy that could literally maybe contain Dream a little bit, and Vernon Maxwell. And you can go on record, and Michael Jordan said this, that Vernon Maxwell is one of the toughest guys to ever guard him. And his second statement is that we had no one to stop Dream. And Scotty would have been, I'd have diffused Scotty because back then I was young, I was athletic, I could guard Scotty. And so I would have contained Scotty, and we'd have been good to go. If I'd have had to guard Scotty, we'd put Clyde on Scotty, or then put me on Horace. You've seen what I did to Horace in 95. Well, I've seen what I did to Rodman in 94. So, it wouldn't have mattered, because we'd have had the upper hand because of Dream.
You don't think
I'm calling Bill Wennington?
Yeah, I was just
I'm telling him what you said.
You don't think Bill Wennington would have embarrassed Dream? I was just thinking the same thing.
Bill who? It'd have been fun though. We always like to have these what ifs and whatnots and stuff. And I know for a fact, and you look at the history of the times we played Chicago, we have the winning record when I was with the Rockies. I remember when I first went up in the building. We had 4 guys in double figures the first time we played them. I had like 6 dunks in a game. They couldn't stop me because, young, athletic, and Scotty, was always trying to help off of people, and I was exploiting that. So I think we'd have had a good time. Because people look at Robert Horry, the Laker Robert Horry, where I only made like 9 points a game, 10 points a game. You get in the Rockets, I was averaging 12, 13, 14, 15 points a game. So it was a different type of dude then because I had plays ran for me.
So you just brought up Vernon Maxwell, and I have to ask, do you hate anything as much as he hates Utah?
Yeah, Danny Ainge? Does that count?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay.
I don't even know why Vernon hates Utah so much. I thought it would be Portland for when he went up in the stands in Portland, and I had to go up in the stands and get him from about to beat this dude's butt up there. But I don't know why it's Utah. I guess because Utah, back when we used to play, everything shut down at 10:30. You had to have a special permission to drink alcohol after 10:30. So I don't know why Vernon hates Utah so bad.
There you go. You brought up what if, and I have a what if for you. What if you were playing in today's game and Draymond Green was pestering you like he does everyone else, following you all around the court, trying to get in your head? What would you do? How would you combat his shenanigans?
I would do the same to him. It's just so funny how the things that people do in basketball is things that they do not want done to them. And Robert, to me, Williams is a perfect guy to get in Draymond's head. And, I hate to say this, but if I was Ime, I'm like, yo, F with Draymond. Fuck with Draymond. And because if he gets tossed, that's better for them. They got nobody that can guard Tatum. They got nobody that can guard Brown. They got nobody that can guard Smart. Now you got to play that game. As much as Draymond try to be the antagonist like he is, do it to him. I will be bumping him, elbow him, talking so much trash to him. Let's see how you keep your cool. Let's see Mr. Cool. And guys, they're like, the guys won't do that. I remember the episode where Draymond, does Robert like this and Robert does anything. That's the time you get nose to nose with that dude. You get nose to nose. You let him know, yo, dude, this ain't going to be easy for you to think you're going to try to punk me. And that's what Draymond does. I've had that with Barkley. I had that with Rodman. You had that with all the guys back in the day that tried that. You can't back down. You got to get in their face and let them know that, yo, they call me all day. I'm going to be here 24/7.
Yeah. Do you think some of the juice has been taken out of that? Because I feel like when you were playing in the NBA, you got nose to nose, and the threat at least was there that you might get, your jaw rocked. When you're standing there, it's like, I might get punched in the face if I stand right here, but I'm going to stand right here because he needs to know I might punch him in the face.
Yeah, but
that aspect is kind of gone. Lonzo said it when he was a Laker. He's like, ain't nobody fighting no more.
Ain't nobody gonna fight no more, but you gotta, still let nobody, you ain't no punk. And you gotta get those. And my whole thing is the crowd comes so fast, you ain't gonna be able to get off a good shot in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you get off a good shot, hopefully you got that. You're not glass jaw. You're not glass Joe. You're gonna go down. You just, he's tossed you there. But I'm not condoning fighting by any way. But you still can't let no dude just try to bully you like that.
Yeah, send Peyton Pritchard out to do it, right? You don't want Jaylen Brown. You don't want to lose Jaylen Brown, right?
Not Jaylen Brown, but
right.
you can use the William kid, because he's the only one that's like, to me,
right.
that's strong enough and mean enough to take down Draymond.
Right, you're right. One more thing, is it over in Game 6? Do you see this going until Father's Day? What happens? Can the Celtics have anything in the tank?
I think it goes 7, even though the Celtics have messed up twice in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You should have. You had the Warriors on 1-day rest. You should have won that game because of your youth. Should have came through, but you took a lot of bad shots, had turnovers. Now you had another chance where Steph shoots the ball awful. You had a chance to win that game.
Yeah.
Now you go into Game 6 at home, which I think the Celtics will win. But who knows? You got Game 6 Clay, who always steps up in Game 6, so they're gonna have to come out and use that energy and play well. So I think it's gonna go 7. And I had picked the Celtics to win it in 7, but I expected them to go up 3-1 in order to win that. But now I don't know, because that's why you play to get home court advantage, and the Warriors are really tough to beat at home.
Yeah,
I got one more question actually. Since we're talking, you mentioned the Lakers in passing, so we got to get in on that. LeBron is that Russell Westbrook, but it comes down to Anthony Davis, in my opinion. Does he get right and get the Lakers back on track this coming season now?
I have no clue if he gets right or not, because I think a lot of the work for me when I was winning in the offseason, it was training. I had a guy by the name of James Cooper, and he would have me doing stuff. I'm like, what are we doing today? We're doing mixed martial arts today? What? Are you going to punch me in my face today? Oh, no. It's so many different things that, you have to train your body, because you think about this in basketball, you're moving your body in so many different ways that you get hurt sometimes. But if you're doing different exercises and different things, your body's getting used to those different motions. So I don't know what kind of workout that AD does in the off season, but I've said this and I said this before, whatever he does, he needs to say, scrap it and go hang out with LeBron. And whatever LeBron does, you do it, because, think about it, LeBron has been healthy for 20 years almost until someone falls on his ankle, some crazy injury. So you have to change the way you train in the summertime, because that's when your body gets ready for the upcoming season.
There you go,
Rob. I don't have a question. Mm-hmm. I'm imploring this on the behalf of me, a kid who grew up watching you hit threes and hearing and nicknames being shouted. I remember watching Muggsy Bogues. I asked him the same thing. Nicknames have gone. They're gone. You're on TV. I see it after every Lakers game. You're on TV, and y'all got nothing good to talk about, especially after last year. I need the nickname to come back. And you, James Worthy, y'all making quotes, shoot threes, lift weights, and y'all go viral. I need you to bring back the nicknames, please. I mean, the idea that we're in the NBA Finals right now, and there's not one good nickname on the court.
Oh, Time Lord! What are you talking about, Marty Weiss?
I'm sorry, that's still one, but that's because he overslept. I mean, I'm saying none of it is because it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's all because of happenstance. It's not because of his exploits on the court or whatever, because he's so short or something. It's all. I get it, but the proliferation of nicknames is falling down, and the idea that Rob Williams is like one of few.
It's so weird that you said that, because I never really thought about it. So these guys have to earn nicknames. Now they come in the league with giving themselves nicknames. But I'm gonna have to come up with some nicknames. Maybe I could collab with you and find out what we're gonna call them. But I have Let's no
do
clue.
it.
what I want to call someone, man. Because
Marty will pay you in sneakers. He has some spare.
That's fine with me.
I have a sneaky suspicion that Robert Ory's got more shoes than I do.
Actually, I don't. My son's always.
We tried with Austin Reeves and Hillbilly Kobe. So
Austin Reeves, what, the new big country? A little country instead of big country.
No,
it's hard to come up with nicknames, man.
You have the best nickname. What do you have to go out finding out nicknames for anybody else? You got the best. Don't make it a competition. You're number one. Big Bob, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Anytime you need me, I'm here for you.
All right. Thanks again.
All right.